Hello.
Okay. Can I share screen or not?
No, not now. Okay. So good afternoon. I need to greet first and then present you, right?
All right. Okay.
Okay. I just want to give some information about that. We changed the order. That's why. Okay. So dear scholars, good afternoon and welcome to the fourth session of the 10th International Communication Days. It's an honor to serve as the session chair for this thought-provoking symposium focusing on the intersection of digital capitalism and media communication. Our session today carries the title Digitalization, Media and the Future, Critical Approach. In this session, we have the privilege of hearing from our distinguished presenters who will shed light on various aspects of this vital topic. Each presentation has been allocated a dedicated time slot of 15 minutes. I will remind the time as well. Before we proceed, I also thank the Vice Session Chair, Associate Professor Feride Zeynep Güder for her kind support and Besna and dear Besna Ergun for her kind support as well, the research assistant. So I would like to express my gratitude to our presenters for their valuable contributions to the symposium. Your research are crucial in advancing our understanding of the complex relationship between digitalization, media, and the future. Your critical approach is also greatly appreciated. I would also extend my thanks to all the attendees right now. We have a few attendees who have joined us today. Your presence and active participation make our session to a truly enriching experience. Let us now embark on this enlightening journey together. Please join me in welcoming our first presenter to the virtual stage. The first presenter is from the University San Islam, Malaysia, lecturer Dr. Sofia Hayati Yusuf, Islamophobia on Twitter, How Islam is Framed. Dear Dr. Yusuf, the stage is yours. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much. Now, I can't share my screen. Is it that I really cannot share my screen?
No, you can. You are allowed. Can you try, please?
Still, it says here, host disabled participant screen sharing.
Okay, just a second. Feride Hocam, siz galiba oturumu siz başlattığınız için bir şey yaşadık. Şimdi beni host yapabilir misiniz?
I allow it. All right.
By the way, Professor Özaslan, Birol hocamız just entered in.
Yes.
Okay.
So maybe after.
After Sofia, Dr. Sofia, we can give the.
Yes. Okay. Thank you.
Okay. Can you see my screen now?
Yes.
All right. Thank you very much. Okay. Good afternoon. But in Malaysia now it's 9:15 p.m. at night. Okay. All right. Today my presentation will be entitled Islamophobia. On Twitter, How Islam is Framed. Okay, I am Sofia Hayati Yusuf. Actually, this research is just a mini research. It took me and my student just 1 month to finish in data collection. So not much of the input that I could give actually, but I would like to share whatever that I've got throughout our data collection. Okay. All right, for the introduction, social media has become important and played an important role in society. So it works to articulate, conveys, and explain certain discourses that help in representing and framing certain groups. So in most issues on social media, for example, Muslims, they are always considered as the others. So the issue of Muslims and Islam being negatively framed on social media is very crucial, and it has given enough pressure to Muslims worldwide. Many researchers have studied how most of the contents posted on social media are in a negative tone towards Islam and Muslims. So for the problem statement, It started in 2015 when the murders in Paris, in which more than 120 people died, made people around the world even more afraid of Islam. And years later, many years later, when social media platforms expanded, some groups were even paid to promote and spread propaganda about Islamophobia to the rest of the world. This is according to Franchise 2020. And for the research objective, this mini research aims first to identify the frequency of postings on Islam and Muslims by anti-Islam page on Twitter. And second one, to explore the themes of postings on Islam and Muslims by anti-Islam page on Twitter. Okay, for the literature review, Islamophobia is defined as a fear of an animosity against Muslim and Islam that is based on racism and results in exclusionary, discriminatory, and violent actions directed toward Muslims and people believed to be Muslims. With the 9/11 attacks that happened in 2001 in New York City, the term Islamophobia emerged to represent the hostility felt by Muslim minority communities in the Western countries. A group of researchers conducted a focus group interview on Muslim respondents in the US, sharing their experiences on physical and virtual Islamophobia during and aftermath 2016 US presidential election campaign. And the research found that US Muslims face daily online pressure of Islamophobic attacks while using the internet for either personal or professional purpose. Then Vijan and Yasri in 2019 developed the multi-class Islamophobic hate speech classifier that has marked a significant move in providing detailed insight of online Islamophobia. Their investigation found 300 tweets of data set that can be categorized from non-Islamophobic to strong Islamophobic. However, this research that I did, on the other hand, look at the frequency of Twitter posting related to only Islamophobia and the themes that emerge from the postings. Okay, for the research methodology, this research applied a content analysis that involved both a qualitative and quantitative approach. The time frame for data collection was only 1 month, that is from 10 December 2022 to 10 January 2023. Analysis, quantitative focused on counting and measuring the frequency of data collected, while qualitative focused on interpreting and understanding the data. Unit of analysis is each posting of the Twitter account. And like Luo 2019 said, we code and or categorize words, ideas, and concepts in both kinds of text. Then we examine the outcomes. So in this research, we have quantitatively identified the frequency of postings on Islam and Muslims by anti-Islam posts. Meanwhile, for the qualitative part, we have also explored the dominant themes of postings on Islam and Muslims on anti-Islam page. Okay, next for the findings. Okay, for the frequency of postings, since this research is just a mini research and we didn't have much time to collect a lot of data, so we have purposely selected only two accounts. That is one from Said Hanif, which has about 32 number of postings. And then next one is Haram Doodles, about 25 postings. So the total is 57 postings on their Twitter from within that 1 month period. Okay, for the dominant themes, we use selection of themes constructed by Yusuf in 2013, who also conducted a research on Islamophobia in the media. And out of 29 themes taken from this research by Yusuf, 20 themes match with 57 postings analyzed. Then we selected the most dominant themes which are available in more than 10 postings from all 57 postings that we analyzed. So that's how we came up with the dominant themes. So altogether, finally, we managed to come up with 7 dominant themes, which were discovered after qualitative analysis was conducted. Okay, so for the first dominant theme, that is Islamic law is cruel. And for this one, out of 57 postings, we could identify this theme in 25 postings. Okay, and examples given here, like the one by Said Hanif, he said, all 4 jurisprudence of thought agree that the punishment for apostasy in Islam is death. More than 95% of the Muslim population adheres to one of these jurisprudences. Not all Muslims want our heads as lawn ornaments, but it is astonishing how many do. Okay, for your information, actually, Said Hanif used to be a Muslim, but then now he is not a Muslim anymore. So he had this account, and based on the sentence Muslims want our heads as lawn ornaments, we came up with the theme that they considered as Islamic law is cruel. Okay. For the second theme, Islam is dangerous. Okay, this one we could discover this theme in 21 postings out of 57 postings. And for example, Haram Doodles here said, I wish you didn't create your very own Islamic regimes at home. Ex-Muslims share what they so wish they could say to their Muslim family and friends. And dear Muslim family and friends, I wish you didn't create your very own Islamic regimes and blah, blah, blah. So it says here, he has portrayed Islam as very dangerous. The same goes to Said Hanif as well. Okay, next dominant theme is Muslims' faith, regarding Muslims' faith. And this one we identified in 15 postings out of 57, and all 15 postings describe negatively on Muslim faith. For example, Haram Doodles here, he said, 6 pillars of Islam, when Muslims break out into a mental gymnastics routine when apologizing or excusing Islam's inequities and inconsistencies, makes sense when we are told that Islam cannot change, and anyone who tries to change it deserves punishment. So he has portrayed a negative portrayal on Muslims' faith. Okay, dominant theme number 4, Muslim women are oppressed. Okay, this is actually one of the most that we could find in our research. And actually this theme on women, actually this theme is overlapping with other themes. So we could find in most of the postings actually, but we have made it clear that only 15 postings really talk about Muslim women are being oppressed by Islam and by Muslim men. All right. So for example, Said Hanif here, he said, even in his defenses of Islam, he says, we do not let our wives as if it is a given that a Muslim wife must obey their husband's every command. Dominant theme number 5, Islam is judgmental, and this one could be found in 10 postings out of 57 that we analyzed. And for example, Said Hanif said in one of his postings, there is only one thing that unifies Muslims as a people. Number 2, Muslims agree on anything from treatment of non-Muslims to women's rights to praying, drinking, and fasting. The only thing all Muslims unanimously agree on is that eating pork is haram, lol. Okay, so he is showing that Islam is very judgmental. And then dominant theme number 6, Muslim countries, Islamists and terrorists. Okay, for this one, we discovered the theme in 10 postings from both Said Hanif and Haram Doodles, for example, one example that I posted here, from Islamist countries or regimes to our Islamist homes or families, we share the struggle of having the sword of Islam held at our necks, cutting off access to our society, our safety, rights, freedoms, and opportunities. So we must continue to speak up for our collective liberation from Islam. And then the last dominant theme that we discovered from this mini research is Islam is gender biased. And clearly we could find very clear postings portraying Islam as gender biased in 10 postings out of 57. For example, Haram Doodles, one example that I give here, Haram Doodles said, once you experience life as a Muslim girl or woman, you want nothing else but to break free from Allah, Islam, and all the Muslim men who have been informing, deciding, implementing, enforcing, and mansplaining the rules since the 7th century. So in conclusion, online Islamophobia remains a complex problem, and with the emerging rise on online anti-Muslim hate, prejudice, discrimination, and threats, there is an urgent need to examine this area in more depth. So this research has provided a brief snapshot of the problem of online anti-Muslim abuse by examining online Islamophobia and how Islam and Muslims are framed on Twitter. Positive ways of dealing with such problems will require a multifaceted partnership approach and may result to an adoption of a new international and national online cyber hate strategy to combat against this online Islamophobia. So I would suggest many future research can be done on how Muslims are treated in cyber world, not only the writings, but also on images, graphics posted online. So in creating a better world for for every human being, a check and balance must be done to ensure Muslims receive better treatment by social media users. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, dear Dr. Sofia Hayati Yusuf, for this engaging presentation. I think we have, if there are some questions, we can take the questions at the end of our session. I think this will be better. So now we will proceed with Associate Professor Birol Büyükdoğan. I'm sorry, dear Professor, because we started before you. So welcome again. And Professor Büyükdoğan is from KTO, Karatay University. And yes, the title of his presentation is Evaluation of Universities Tweets within the Framework of Public Diplomacy. The stage is yours, please.
Okay. Thank you, Session Chair, Professor Özarslan. First of all, I would like to express my respects to academicians who attended the session. My name is Birol Büyükdoğan. I'm the Associate Professor of KTO, Karatay University, Konya, Turkey. My study is about the public diplomacy. The purpose of the study is to analyze the post on university Facebook page within the framework of public diplomacy. For this purpose, answers to the following questions we will look for: how often the university share, how much photos, links, or videos were used in posts, what are the topics, important topics of the post, etc. This study was conducted between 1st and 31st December 2022. In the study, other social networks are excluded from the analysis. Only Facebook posts are analyzed because Facebook is the most used social network in the world, according to VR Social. Every year you can see this. The population of the study is the universities with foreign students in Turkey. The sample of the study is the first 5 universities with the highest number of foreign students in Turkey. The post of the universities are analyzed with the framework of soft power of public diplomacy. These soft powers dimensions are economy, culture, art, media, publicity, education, sport, tourism, and science. In the analysis, all the posts of the universities are included, and the posts other than public diplomacy are analyzed. Let's look at the findings. There were according to the Turkish Council of Higher Education, there were 223,000 foreign students in Turkey in 2022. We look at the table 1. According to table 1, 31.6% of the posts are shared by Istanbul University. These are the highest first 5 universities. The first one is Istanbul University, and 25.9% by Anadolu University, and 18.3% by Istanbul Aydın University, and 16.9% by Karabük University. The most posts belong to Istanbul University. The least one belong to Karabük University. The table 2, according to table 2, 31.9% of posts are in the first place as education topic. We can look at the topic: culture, art, media, publicity, education, sport, science, international students, and other topics. The first place as education topic. Other topics are followed: education, science, publicity, art, culture, international students, media, and sports. The posts about education are in the first or second place, all in the universities. The posts about science and publicity are in second or third place in all universities. Although the subject of culture, art, media, sports, and international students are important for public diplomacy in university posts, they are shared in small number, unfortunately. And let's look at the conclusion. Public diplomacy is very important part of today's diplomacy activities. Public diplomacy is an activity that should be considered not only by the state, but also by many institutions, including, for example, NGOs. Universities have very important function in terms of public diplomacy, since they have foreign students. In the study, posts are analyzed, you can see, within the framework of public diplomacy, and the topics of the study: culture, art, media, publicity, education, sports, science, international students, and other topics. 1/3 of the posts are about education. Educational topics include academic meetings organized by universities, courses for students, internships, program or scholarships, etc. Topics which is under the title of science are projects such as projects supported by TÜBİTAK, technical studies, or accepted patents. Some posts take place as culture topic, like book promotion, cultural collaboration, and nostalgia train, etc. The post of the universities, we can see conclusion, the post of universities on education and science are sufficient. But universities need to share more on culture, art, sports topics. Posts should be published not only in Turkish, but also in Turkish or English. We see all of posts were Turkish. It should be noted that each post shared by universities also serves public diplomacy in universities. It shouldn't be forgotten that each of foreign students is a volunteer ambassador. For this purpose, activities should be organized to introduce the culture, art, science, and touristic places of the country to the foreign students. And that's all. Thank you for your listening. And is there any question for me? Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much, dear Associate Professor Büyükdoğan. If you have any questions about this presentation, you may ask via chat so that our presenters can answer them at the end of the session after all the presentations were completed. But we have plenty of time, maybe because, yeah. But as we decided, we can take the questions after the presentations, after all the presentations at the end of the session. So thank you very much. You can close sharing, I guess, I think. So now the third presentation is applying augmented reality and multimedia in ESP classes. I think we have two presenters. The presentation is written by many authors. Let me tell their names. Lecturer Nora Barnuç, she's with us from University of Public Service. Assistant Professor Dalmalila Dominek, University of Public Service, and with us, thank you, yes. And Balas Çekmen, Karoli Gaspar University, Erna Uric, Cornelius University of Budapest, Erika Gal, Stefal Interactive Limited Company, Associate Professor Erzsébet Bujdozene Dani, University of Debrecen. I'm sorry for my pronunciation, as I'm not very familiar with this language. I hope I did not make any mistakes with the pronunciation. So now the stage is yours. Thank you very much. I think we have some problems with Nora, again, with the connection, I guess. Can you hear me, dear professors, Dominek and Barnuç?
Yes, I am here.
Okay.
Because my present is, it's Nora.
Okay, Nora. You can start your presentation, dear Nora.
I believe Professor Barnuç is having a technical issue right now.
Yeah, I think her image is freezed, so
I would like to share the PPT at the moment.
There's a problem with the connection, I guess.
Yeah.
Dear Professor Barnuç, can you hear us?
I think she can't hear us because her screen is also frozen.
Yeah.
So there is a connection problem.
Yeah, I see. So maybe we can go on with Assistant Professor Dominek if she's available or if she has no problems with the connection, I guess. Dear Professor Dominic, can you hear us?
There is a problem with their internet, I guess.
Yeah, there's the connection problem.
Maybe we can skip to me, not to,
okay,
waste time.
Yeah.
For the others. Maybe in the meantime, they will catch up. Nora, Nora is moving right now. Hello, Barnes? Oh, no.
No, she sometimes moves, but
sometimes frozen.
Yeah.
It's scary.
Dear Professor Dominic, maybe she
Dalma Dominic?
I
don't.
Because she was answering
on the chat.
No.
Last time
we have just talked that dear lecturer Nora Barnuch will start, so then she disappeared, I think. Okay, so in order not to waste our time, maybe we can proceed with Associate Professor Feride Zeynep Güder from Üsküdar University. And her title is, the presentation of her title is the Algorithmic Management, Ideological and Socio-Technical Perspectives. The stage is yours, the virtual stage is yours, dear Professor.
Thank you. Okay.
Thank you.
Thanks a lot. Let me share my screen with you. All right. Is there any problem with my screen?
No problem.
All right. So in this presentation, this is me. I chose this title because I'm personally academically interested in nowadays in the technoculture, particularly on algorithmic management. And then I will relate this algorithmic management in business perspectives. And this is me. And at the end of the presentation, if you want to reach me, you can follow me. You can send me your emails or and any other social media accounts. So this is my professional accounts. And this in this presentation, I'm going to relate all these multidisciplinary research trajectory, starting from linguistics, digital media, anthropology, philosophy, and psychology and politics, to the technology, so technoculture. So the abstract of my presentation goes like that. The technological advances in AI and digitalization of everything transform and create a new kind of business culture and management that allow algorithms to control work life and solve human-originated catastrophes. So let me skip this abstract. If you are interested in this presentation, you can read the abstract and the paper after the this presentation. And the keywords over here is especially focus on the algorithmic management, human-machine collaboration, the possibility of new possibilities of human-machine collaborations, augmented intelligence, and if I have time, I'll relate them to neoliberalism and post-capitalism. So these are my keywords, extended keywords, starting from here, the algorithmic management, human-machine collaboration, and the second part of this part, automatic intelligence, augmented intelligence, and technoculture. And the last part of this presentation will deal with the techno and algo discourses developed by Anderson, Balibar, Burns, and the terminology of Gestalt developed by Heidegger and Licklider. Unfortunately, we have just 15 minutes of presentation time. If this is a 1 hour presentation, I will talk about everything one by one and expand them properly. And in the introduction, this is the outline of my presentation. So in the introduction part, I will talk about a new kind of business culture and management has been born. Everybody is, agreed. Everybody agreed on that. There is a new kind of business culture, and this business culture has some outcome, especially the socio-technical part of the change in human society. When I say the human society, I mean the anthropocentric life. Here, anthropocentric means that the human-centered life. So we humans see us as in the center of everything, and that's why algorithmic management is something that we are fear of nowadays. Because of these, there are lots of fear of technology, because so many people, so many skeptical philosophers thinks that AI stands for artificial intelligence, acts as a Trojan horse, acts behind the human beings to work anti-human, how can we say, anti-human aims or philosophies. Here, the idea of augmented intelligence it can be explained as by the philosophy of Etienne Balibar. Etienne Balibar once described that human being himself as as an anthropocentric, since human being put himself in the center of the universe, and it is the catastrophe for nature. So we are the catastrophe for nature. And the capitalism itself is the catastrophe in the catastrophe. So this is the capitalism itself, the money issues, the liberalism, for example, here nowadays is worsen the situation, worsen the catastrophe and exponentially. So how can we reach a mutual or a much more, peaceful outcome by combining these collaborations? We need to set up a new formula of collaborations developed by the other philosophers, like the role of the technology. First, we need to learn what is the role of technology for human being. Is it the center of them? Is it just them, our extensions of something, or like the concept developed by Gestalt? Is it the meaning that we put onto the technology itself, and the possibility of hybrid mechanism that we can bring together on human-machine collaboration? And from here, I would like to conclude my study with what future hold for us and what are the reading suggestions for this one. Okay. And there are so many questions arose here to frame this, how can we say, seminar or the problems. How do technological advances in AI and digitalization transform and create a new kind of business culture and management? How do algorithms control work life and solve human-originated catastrophes? This is very interesting question. How do algorithms control work life? Do we allow the algorithms to control our life? And what does algorithmic management control, monitor, and govern in the workplace? These are all new questions, but this is valid within 5 years or maybe within a couple of years. Everybody we have been already managed by algorithmic, algorithms, but this is the changing very fast. And how does algorithmic management challenge our anthropocentric life? So what are the concerns and paranoid discourses over the role of technology and digitalized business culture? How can we regulate AI to stop its anti-human potential? And at the beginning, we must pause to ask, what do we understand from authentic intelligence? Authentic intelligence is the intelligence that we have already as a human being. So we have a normal human being. We are having our normal brain, okay? We are just moving, speaking, smiling. And this is the authentic intelligence. This is the normal human being, authentic intelligence. But when we talk about the augmented intelligence, we put something into our brain that makes us smarter. For example, we insert a chip onto our brain, or we just, collaborate with algorithms or artificial intelligence, and we work together. And when we work together with another intelligence, that is called, we reach another level of human being as a much more smarter. But there is a problem here. Are we still human being when we implement other kinds of intelligence to our own authentic intelligence? And why is human being has been regarded as a catastrophe for the nature? Why do they not allow us just how can we say, peaceful, and the ordinary people has been seen as the catastrophe for nature because of this, this global warming and, all the damages that we did to the universe. So we are changing the whole blue planet for worse. And then the capitalism itself is maybe the main reason behind the core issue that we need to take on a catastrophe in the catastrophe. So if we bring algorithms into the human society, what sort of discussions or what sort of roles can we give to reach the hybrid mechanisms that can change the whole situation altogether? Here, since I don't have so much time, I'm not going to explain to the other philosophers the three stages of, for example, algorithmic management and so on. So let me move from here to enter the subject in detail. So algorithmic management is a new kind of business culture and management. How do technological advances and the digital evolution in artificial intelligence and digitalization transform and create a new kind of business culture and management? Algorithmic management, what is it? First of all, we need to reach the correct definition of it. It is the use of computer programmed procedures for the coordination of labor input in an organization. But at the same time, both digital labor platforms and regular workplaces and companies have new policies. So we have two sides of discussions here. The first one is the digital labor platforms and also the normal regular workplaces. So algorithmic management should be understood as the digital evolution of some of the pre-existing trends that have long characterized the organization of economic activity. So it is potentially disruptive, and this is because it increases considerably organizational ability to control, for example, a very complex economic and work processes. So it can be useful for the massive capacity, and it is used for its massive capacity to collect, store, and process information of digital technologies. But in algorithmic management, the technological developments are combined and used also for reorganizing control and reshaping power balances in the workplace. Think about who is the boss of this company, for example. Who is the writing of these algorithms behind the curtain, behind the closed doors? So algorithmic management in real words, as a social, the size of the social part, the extension of algorithmic management practices in more traditional working environments such as factories, offices, hotels, retail and wholesale warehouses. So we can see all these algorithmic management practices in many more, apart from beyond the digital environments. So we have seen this algorithmic management here and digital label platforms. We all know that the digital workers and digital, input workers, input content creators maybe. And also we have other real life situation beyond digital labor platforms. So what is the, you know, the thing that scares us, the fear or not to fear from algorithmic management? Why are we developing a fear towards this algorithmic management? What is the ideology behind it? Are we allowed to be just an authentic human being, or are we going to be replaced by robots or automated missions, and then one day we are left with nothing at the end of the day? We don't know, because the question of this one is the ambivalent nature of advanced technology. The ambivalent nature means that nothing is certain, nothing is, the ground is not, how can we say, the ground is not strong. We don't feel comfortable with the technology, so that's why we are still, as a human being, fear the artificial intelligence and the advancement of technology. And there is the very important thing of the coordination of labor input within the organization. For example, how do algorithmic management works in organization? It works in 5 functions, they say. First, planning. So how do we plan in the business life? How do we staff? Who is going to be, work for that position or in that position? And how are we going to command to these people? And how can we coordinate all this business? And how can we control all this part? So all these 5 functions, based on the, implemented or work with computer algorithms. But at the same time, the only part of the, when we talk about, if we leave the algorithms alone, without human managements or human regulations, there will be so many problems, because at the end of the day, the employees, the commanding, coordinating, and controlling can be just, work another chaos, because we know we are, at the end of the day, maybe we are the accumulation of the money, but at the same time, we don't know the emotional side of the people. If we don't give the reason, for example, to promote somebody, if you don't provide them the reason not to promote you, this is what you are doing. Yes, but if we don't, allow human being during this part, there can be a chaotic situation for everybody.
Dear Professor, sorry to interrupt,
yes,
but we are running out of time. I can give you 1 more or 2
minutes more. Okay. So there are so many things to discuss about this algorithm management. Planning, for example, is the hardest to automate, and there are so many automation levels, as we all see. And we still don't know what to do for the technology or algorithm managements in business life, but it is too late. These are my last punchline of this presentation. Thank you for warning, because I am going to know you saved me. Thank you. The final thoughts is that there are so many issues in this catastrophe of capitalism, and digitalism will also work anti-human maybe perspectives, but it is too late to evade from technology, because the genie is no longer in the bottle. So there are so many things that we think, but there are so many optimistic approaches at the same time. And the future is, if we combine, if we collaborate with the, how can we say, algorithmic managements or the challenges, maybe we can extend human-centered life on Earth, making human life mundane, not to end the human life at the end of the day. Thank you very much for your listening to my presentation. I hope I am not so I'm not so giving a confusing presentation. If you have any questions, you can ask me right now, or if you can just send me an email and so on. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, dear professor. We are taking the questions at the end of the session. Actually, if we have any questions, they can use chat. Thank you so much. So just a moment, please. Now, dear lecturer Nora Barnoch, I think, are you ready to present? There were some connection problems, or dear Dalma Dominic? Do we still have problems? Can you hear me, dear Nora or Dalma? Can you hear me?
Can I offer a solution, Professor Özarslan?
Yes, please.
Professor Barnett or Professor Dominic, is it possible for you to connect through the web version of Zoom? I mean, I'm not sure if you're using the application right now, but if you have the chance to just use Chrome or any web browser, and if you can open Zoom there, maybe we might have a chance if you can hear me. Let me also write my solution down. Maybe you can't hear me, but you may read what I write. Maybe that might work, Professor Özarslan.
Okay, thank you so much for your help. So if you have any questions for the presentations, maybe we can take the questions about yeah. Otherwise, I mean, we have only 20 minutes left, so we can take the questions now. Okay. Dear Professor Barnoch and Dominic, if you hear us. Yes, please.
I don't have a question actually, but I would like to share my opinion regarding the presentation made by Associate Professor Biro just now. Regarding the university postings on FB, on international diplomacy. Okay, my opinion is that actually I agree with you, Doctor, where the university social media should have not only the local language, but also international language, because this is not only for the benefit of the international students, but also this is what the marketing is all about. Because social media is not only can be accessed to our local people, but it can be accessed worldwide. So it is important to have both languages, the international as well as our local language.
Yes, you're right.
It's the marketing of the university. So that's my opinion.
Yes. Especially for marketing, you can use both language. Yes, you're right. Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you very much for your contribution.
Yes.
I'm trying to reach professors, but I can't tell.
Yeah, there's another question, I guess. Dr. Feride, how do you see the use of an algorithmic approach in communication studies? Is it AI or technology related only? From Nur Hayati Rafida.
Okay, thank you very much for this question. Yes, as I mentioned, this is the, the algorithm approach in communication study is related. This is the digital world that we are living in right now, and especially how can we communicate with missions, and how can we, integrate our approach to communication, mission to mission, or human to mission, or are we going to, you know, change ourselves as a being losing our authentic intelligence by being another level of human being? So everything has been changed with these artificial intelligence and algorithms. So we need to develop a new kind of communication. For example, Elon Musk said that language itself slows down the communication. He said this statement, and I was shocked how language slowed us. And once he said that, I tried to understand that he sees the communication only in a procedural part. So there are two types of languages, you know, procedural language and declarative language. And the procedural language, we just give commands. I mean, open the turn and turn on the lights, and please enter the browse, please answer your phone. And if this is the language, if this is the only communication, so yes, language itself slow down us. But there are so many types of human communication. For example, how can we develop inferencing? Inferencing means, to extract, to derive comment or our opinion that is not given in the words. Maybe we can give our comments by understanding beyond the language. If we can, if we can't communicate, if we can't use the language, so it is not possible to say that the language is slow enough. So Elon Musk, I think, using that kind of sentences to increase the sensational approaches, you know, he creates sensations towards the language. I hope this is enough, right?
Thank you.
Welcome.
Okay, we still have some problems with the connection, I guess, with dear Dominic and Barnuch. So we are writing on the chat box.
Yes, I have talked to my team, Professor Özaslan, and they said that when these kind of technical issues happen, but since they were here all along, they will still be able to get their certificates, so there shouldn't be any problem about that. I mean, even if they cannot join, we will still give them the participation certificate, you know, because they were here all along.
Okay, thank you very much. So what we can do, shall we wait 1 or 2 more minutes, or because, sorry, I was just trying to write a message.
Again. They are arriving again. Maybe they reach through their browser.
Yeah.
It takes
again,
time, you know.
So we have only 15 minutes left.
So
and
we need algorithms to manage this one, not Vesna. Vesna. But you see, this is the core issue. We need human to solve the technical problems.
Well, actually, we have another technical problem because the session will automatically close at 5:30. So we need to solve the problem as quickly as possible.
Yes.
Dear Nora Barnuch, can you hear us right now?
Oh, I'm very, very sorry.
It's okay. It's okay. Could you please proceed your presentation?
Okay.
It automatically closes at 5:30. So I'm sorry, we have only 14 minutes left.
Okay, I tried to be very quick. Okay, so can you see my presentation?
Not yet.
Not yet?
And we can't see you either.
And now?
No.
No. Okay.
Just talking will be enough, I guess.
Okay, yes. Okay.
Right now.
Share.
Yes,
now it's coming.
Finally.
Yes, yes, we
Yeah.
can see the screen right now. Thank you.
Okay. Woo. Okay, so thank you for your patience. Yes, okay, so we are from Hungary with my colleague Dalma Dominek. She's at this presentation, she's at this conference at the moment today. So welcome to everyone. We are a big research group and we are working on a topic, a project work titled Applying Augmented Reality and Multimedia in ESP Classes. I would like to speak about very briefly theoretical background frameworks, introduction of the research, first results, and so on. Okay, so it's important to say that the students in higher education, we work in higher education, they come from the Z generation and they use totally different learning principles to acquire their knowledge, totally different. And the information society has not only been transforming educational process, it's true, but at the same time, new positions appear in the labor market. So it's very important that technology, so in case of technology, the market of digital devices is getting higher and higher day by day. And the mobile devices are placed at the forefront in our opinion and according to our experiences. So their educational use shows an increasing trend in case of artificial intelligence, augmented reality, virtual reality, etc. And the current education must be prepared for this and its existing courses must be adapted to the challenge of the labor market. Okay, but what is the augmented reality? So what is it exactly? So it's still a dynamically developing branch of information technology, and it allows the physical world to be augmented in real time with computer generated virtual elements, 3D models, videos, animations, and they can blend into the real environment. As you can see in the timeline, on the left-hand side, the real environment, on the right-hand side, the virtual environment, and in the middle of the timeline, we can imagine the mixed reality, as you can see in the other three little pictures, the cars in the real environment, and on the right-hand side, the computer-generated element, 3D model is going on the road, and in the middle picture, we can see that computer-generated model in the real environment, they are going on the road. So it has several types, markerless, location-based, and marker-based AR, and we have marker-based AR in our research. So AR can quickly open up new possibilities for teaching, learning, research, and other creative uses. And according to the international researchers, the learning support effect of AR is based on two very important theoretical frameworks: situated learning and constructivist learning. Situational learning is important. It's very important in relation to AR because the focus on transfers. So the meaning of transfers in this case exactly is the application of students' knowledge elements acquired before in different situations. So we have several previous research, and one of them was an action research in a primary school. It has positive results in case of the students' learning achievement and their motivation. There was another one in a vocational school. Here, the test and the control groups became better, but the lack of motivation of the students could not be compensated by the use of AR. So it has neutral results. And we have an ongoing project work in higher education. We are talking about this presentation today. So, and we have positive results so far, but we would like to continue this project in the future. Here you can see some pictures when the students are using their application AR on their tablets in the classroom. So they are active in content consumption in the classroom. Here you can see when the teacher is preparing for her next class day at home. So in this case, he or she is active in content creation, and it's a good news that AR contents can be produced by not just teachers, but students as well. And it's
dear professor, sorry to interrupt, but we cannot see the other slides. We only see the first slide.
Oh, okay.
Because you're talking about a picture, but we cannot see it.
Okay.
We just see the first one. Sorry to interrupt.
Okay, I don't know how to.
Maybe you can scroll down and,
stop share. And this one, maybe share this one.
Yeah, now we can see it. Thank you.
But I can't step. Okay, I have an idea. It's a bad day for me.
Maybe you can just share your research with us without the presentation.
Maybe here, just a moment.
Okay.
Can you see this one?
We can only see the first slide.
And now?
Now we can see it. Yes, thank you.
Okay, okay, this one. Okay, yeah. So the students, yes, and the teacher is active in content creation, as I have mentioned. And okay, so the software I'm going to speak about, it's called Eduardo. Edu stands for Education AR, Augmented Reality Do when somebody is doing something. So it's a Hungarian developed software, the Stiefel Interactive Company software. So it's a mobile application for Android and iOS devices with an online administration system developed for teaching and learning purposes. And the software was developed for content creation and consumption, and they can also happen on mobile devices. And AR contents are available for teaching and learning. And AR contents can be created and used for any subjects and topics of different courses in higher education as well. And they can be annotated and completed with labels. Here you can see the other model, which was used in our research. So it's called Heidi model. It was created by a Hungarian researcher, Erzsébet Dani. She's a member of our research group. High means hyperattention, D means deeper attention. And according to the creator, the lesson can be divided into 3 methodologically different but identical parts in time. So in the upper third of the triangle, the instructor aims to capture students' hyperattention in a multimedia environment. In the second third of the triangle, hyperfocus and perception play the biggest role, but in a reduced multimedia environment, and the role of the teacher comes to the fore. And in the third of the triangle, we can talk about monomediality, when the role of the teacher is strengthened, but the role of the devices is reduced. So we would like to assess the students' digital abilities, communication, flow, state in ESP classes. Here you can see the members, and so the topic I'm speaking about, and we have classroom research, and with several measurement tools. We have, so we measure the students' vocabulary knowledge with self-made tests, their learning style with Felder-Solomon's learning style questionnaire, and their flow state with a flow stat adapted by Dalma Dominic from the University of Public Service. And in the test group 1, the teaching and learning material was carried out with the use of AR. In the test group 2, that material was done with the use of AR and the Heidi model. And in the control group, the teaching material was done without the use of AR and the Heidi model. The students, with the participation of the full-time students of the Faculty of Law Enforcement, they come from the year of 1 and 2, from different years, but they have the same teacher. It's me. and they have B2 intermediate language exam. And we study if traditional or internet-based solutions provide better help for them. And we research how these technologies affect the development of their communication, vocabulary, and their flow state. We are focusing on flow state today. And yes, we assume that they have a positive effect on them. And according to the first, the first results, we've tried to focus on their flow state today. Here you can see the first test lesson. The topic was severe disorder, so here you can see study group 1, 2, and the control group, and their flow state was measured with a 20 items questionnaire. And the respondents were asked to rate how well the statements were fitted them on a 5-point Likert scale. 1 means not at all, and 5 means very much. And the questionnaire can be divided into 2 factors. The first one is challenge and competence, and the second one refers to the merging of action. And we can, in the first lesson, we can see that the flow experience of the 2 test group was above 80%. And in the control group, it was under 80%. And in case of the second test lesson, the topic was drug abuse. This is also true for the next test lesson. So the flow experience of the test groups was above 80%, in the control group under 80%. So yes, and it means that the students perceived the process of the learning material with AR as a challenge, and learning was stored as an experience by themselves. And we have made correlation tests. The correlation coefficient, the value is positive. So yes, and it's also, so the closer relationship can be or is between the variables of the 2 factors, and we have a significant difference between the variables of the 2 factors, and this is also true for the control group as well. Yes, that's enough about the results. And we have a winner application. We have a winner application. Last year we submitted an application for a call by Tempus Public Foundation. And the contest was strong. More than 130 good practices competed for the awards, and the use of augmented reality in ESP classes for law enforcement was selected to be awarded for the 2nd place. Here you can see the marker photo when the students in the classroom using their application on their mobile phones, and the riot police officer appears on their screen. They can label the equipment of the police officer on their screen. Another marker photo, and when a video appears on their screen to complete a listening comprehension test. And according to the student's command, this application can make learning terminology easier because it can engage the students better than a simple book. So we have positive results so far, and the students feel comfortable in such a digital environment where they are challenged, they are driven to think, solve problems, and collaborate. And in the next term, we would like to compare our results with with the Faculty of Military. And the statistical results are also going to be analyzed in the future. So thank you for your attention, and thank you for your patience.
Thank you so much for this valuable, inspiring, and engaging presentation, dear professor.
Thank you.
Okay, do we have any questions? Do you have any questions to the professor's presentation? No questions. Okay, thank you so much.
Thank you for your patience, and I'm very sorry for that.
It's okay. It can happen. I mean, it's the technical issues always happen, so no problem. So as we bring this session on digitalization, media, and the future critical approach to a close, I want to express my sincere appreciation to our esteemed presenters for their thought-provoking insights and engaging presentations. Each of you has provided us with valuable perspectives on the issue. I also want to extend my gratitude to our attentive audience and presenters again for their insightful questions and their participation. They enriched the discussions. And so it has been an inspiring session, and I look forward to further exchange of ideas and insights in the future as well. Thank you all for joining us today.
Thank you, Professor. Thank you, Professor Güder. Thank you, Professor Özaslan.
Thank you.
And I would like to close the session. Thank you for your
support. Thank you. Have a nice day.
Have a nice day. Thank you very much.